Okay. Can we see the video? Okay, can you guys see everything? Hello? Okay, hello. Can you guys hear me? Is everything working right? Okay. Mic test. Is the mic too loud? Or is it good? Or is it good? Because I can turn the mic down. Okay, one second. Are you guys saying yes to the fact? Okay, okay. Keep in mind the stream on YouTube is like what's it called, like 2 minutes behind. Well, actually, no, not 2 minutes. More like 30 seconds behind. Okay. This is my first time live streaming in a while. I'm a bit nervous. So, this is DDL's pink vector. Now, I have evidence that these are not brand new units that they made pink, and that these are instead painted units. Well, these are old units that DDL has painted to these new colors. I have this evidence. Oh, one sec. I'm getting some stream errors. Um, one sec. I need to adjust these stream errors. Stream output video bitrate. Give me a second to adjust the bitrate real quick. I agree, purple is the best color. Is this stream still good? Because I just changed the bitrate. Is the stream still okay? Wait. Oh, the stream. Okay, it's just... I keep forgetting the stream is a bit behind. Let's just hope this works. Anyways, so now that the bitrate's changed, let's get to work. So, as I said, this is DDL's, specifically their pink vector. Now, as I was saying with my... Now, first off, okay, sorry, I'm a bit nervous. I haven't actually opened this up. I've been saving it for this stream to open. I've taken it out of this box, but I haven't taken it out of this box. So, this box is still completely sealed. Yep. It's completely sealed. So, we're going to get into this together and dive into DDL's latest scam. Now, for those who don't know about DDL's past stuff, in 2023, if I remember correctly, actually, there we go. This box has been open for the first time since I left DDL's factory. As I was saying, in 2023, DDL servers went down because, I mean, the best our theories have gone to is that they forgot to pay their server bills. So they end up losing all their infrastructure, which means their cloud service, their vector cloud services were down. This would have been fine, but the problem is, continuing into late 2024, DDL kept charging people for the vector cloud services. Later on in 2024, around the time that Victor, which is Vector's software, leaked, what's it called? They got a new CEO. Before it was Jacob Hancher, now it's Zach Anton. So then later on here in August of 2025, Zach Anton released these colored vectors. I'm gonna toss this away to the side. So this is gonna be a first look of the color vectors. Ready? It's opened. Just gonna slide my hand under here to cover it up so we don't see it yet. Okay. And okay. This is DDL's pink vector. It looks pretty good. Like at first glance, it looks pretty good. But looks can be deceiving. Here's the first theory I want to test. Actually, that face shield's pretty smooth. I could probably use that on my 1.0, which has a really scratch face shield. The rest of the stuff looks about as standard as you can get. Like, silica gel, charger. I'm not going to be using any of this, although it's nice to have the DDL manuals again. Anyways, with that being said, I'll take this cube too. So, let's get that out of here. So, as I was saying, this is DDL's colored vector. Now, the first theory I want to test before I do anything else is it. Well, I guess the first theory is solved for us. This is not. This is not the actual color of the shell. This shell is painted. Here is my proof. Look at that. That paint's just scratching away right there. That is amazing. So, I guess next thing I do is just power it on and see what the manufacturing date is. If it even powers on. I'll just point it to... You see over here in the corner, I should have a desk cam. Are you guys able to see that? I'll just assume that you can see it and just pop it on. I could probably make this a little bit bigger. I could probably make the desk cam a bit bigger. There we go. Oh, okay. That went down quite rough. Okay, ddl.io/v. Okay. This looks like standard vector 2.0 recovery. Nothing really to note. It looks all correct. So, I guess let's get a firmware flashed onto him. Or her, I have no clue what I'm going to gender this robot yet. Switch to main with desktop. Okay, I'm just going to hope that this works somewhat at least. I'm going to pop this out and put I'm going to pop this out and put it on the second screen that I have off screen at the moment. Okay, so right here, this is just a standard Product Victor no-flow setup. So let's pair him up. S7R7 is my robot that's sitting upstairs at the moment. Code 776 046. Okay. I need to go get the OTA I'm going to use first. Just a second. Okay. So, we're going to connect into Wi-Fi. I'm just going to swap this stream over to... Sorry. Just swap this stream over to something else because I want to keep my Wi-Fi password private. Okay. Now that my Wi-Fi is hidden, I can swap it back over to this. Okay. Let's see. So OTA start. Now we're good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to install special OTA. It's called a prod dev OTA. It's a production OTA, but it's been unlocked with development features. So it's quite nice to have, especially since I don't want to, what's it called? Since I don't feel like unlocking the robot right now, since that takes a little bit too much time. I really don't like how the head's really rough to move. It's usually not that. Yeah. My Wi-Fi is decently fast, I think. So this is gonna be probably the most boring part of the stream. Uh, because right now we're just waiting for this to install, and for it to install, who knows how long that's gonna take. Although we are not, it's not gonna take that long, I don't think. I'll put the. Are you talking about the? Okay, I see Mark put the camera in the top left to make it a little bit more bigger. You mean like the robot camera or another camera? Or yeah, I'm assuming you're talking about the robot cam. Just let me just see what I can do about the robot cam. Probably make this text a little bit smaller and then increase the size. Yeah, we can do that. Oh, you mean the desk cam? Because this is the robot cam, that's the desk cam up here. Okay, yeah, bottom right, that's the robot cam. I'll just adjust it for that. There we go. Sorry, I'm a little bit sick right now too. So that's what that is, I guess. Looks like we're about halfway done. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So yeah, is this camera position good, Mark? Or yeah. Can you stream Vicky camera to YouTube? What do you mean Vicky camera? These robots are off right now. Vicky's off right now, so is Starlight, so their cams aren't gonna get streamed. These are the only cams that are gonna get streamed. The ones that we have right now. Yeah, I agree. It's still overpriced. I paid like $300 or something like that. I can pull up the exact amount actually. I can pull up the exact amount. Give me a second. uh, I think converting to Canadian dollars came out to like what? Yeah, it came out to 449. It's not this shit's not cheap. Like it's just a can of spray paint. Okay, I'm not gonna turn Vicky on to stream to YouTube. Just give you an extra disturbance. Anyways, looks like it's installed. So you get to see how well it works. Well, actually, no. We know how well this works. It's what's it called? It's 1.6. It's gonna work as well as you expect. But the board that we're gonna see is what's the manufacturing date on this robot? Because I've had manufacturing dates of two different. I've had two. Actually, no. I've gotten a sample has two robots before. One. Actually, let me pull up the spreadsheet real quick. I made a spreadsheet with all the stuff. Okay, yeah, one was a 2022 robot, and the other was a 2023 robot. Both were bought in 2025. Okay. Okay. Vector is alive. Okay. So we're gonna repair him to the dev setup. Can I put the camera on a spinning? Why? Why would you want me to put the camera on a spinning plate? Okay. Anyways, I'm gonna swap the stream back to another thing because once again I want to keep my Wi-Fi private. I should probably also adjust the size on this one again to be a bit better than the other one. I mean, to be somewhat in line. Yeah, it's pretty good. Okay. So, just a second. Oh, wow. Uh, there we go. He's on Wi-Fi, so the Wi-Fi dash connect. Please connect to Wi-Fi. I beg you. Okay. I'm just gonna move that off screen. And okay. So Actually, I now can actually swap to this, which is the terminal. Something all users who someone have to get to it. Okay, yeah, I can definitely pull up the new vector camera. I can do that much. So, are you guys able to see the terminal that I have open? Assuming you can. Anyways, okay, that's his IP address. 192.168.2.128, no 198. So let's go. SSH space SI dot SSH root key root at 68.2.198. Will there be a name announcement at the Vector's baby shower? I have not decided a name for this guy yet, or girl. I don't know what this one's name is yet. I need to be creative. Anyway, so now you can see we're connected to the robot. So now let's check his manufacturing date. I think it was log 0. Okay, it wasn't log 0. It was log 1. So log 1 grep. Actually, no. Amazing, absolutely amazing. So these dates of April 4th, 2022. These are standard across all Vector 2.0s. All right. Even my other 2.0 right here, this one has that date too. So that's nothing special. The thing that is special is this. This is the actual manufacturing date of this robot. Yep. That's the manufacturing date of this robot. So, what DDL's been doing basically is this is like an old vector. Well, it might even be a DDL return vector. But the thing is, the only difference is they took the internals out of this one. Well, no, they didn't take the internals. They took the shell off this one, spray painted the shell, and put it back together and shipped it off as new. I don't know if that's exactly illegal, but at the very least, it's extremely scummy though. It's like, holy shit. Sorry for the swears, but it's the only thing I can do here. 2023 Vector. Well, I suppose we should just set this one up. So I'm gonna put on the second screen over here, off screen right now. I'm pulling up console vars this way I can just skip on boarding and get right to the setup. There we go. Okay. Hello, come on. It's okay. Come on. No need to be nervous. Oh, what the hell? I just realized. Check this out. That the robot's backpack light's flashing. If I'm correct, that means he's running a really old firmware. I mean, bodyboard firmware specifically. What the? Oh, yes, the back of the robot does have the DDL Cloud logo. Not sure how visible that is on the stream, but that is the DDL Clouds. But look at that. It's hard to see, but this one's running a dev build firmware. Although I don't think that's uncommon for Vector 2.0s. I've seen a Vector 2. I've also had another Vector 2.0 run a dev build firmware. You can also see it on here, I think. Well, also, now we're also going to test another thing that I've had it with these colored Vector 2.0s. That being that these things can't properly detect cliffs. So to simulate a cliff, we're going to use... Oh, that was a very aggressive throw. So we're going to use this vector box. Now, let me show you what should happen using this one, my personal Vector 2.0. Is it possible to know if it's is it possible to know if it was a return? I have no clue if it's possible to know if it was a return or not. I don't think it's possible. Something's also up with this guy at the back. I don't know. He seems to not be. I don't think his gyro is set up right. Since if I leave him off the charger, what's he gonna do? Okay, this guy just thinks he's on a cliff. I'll just leave him over here. So the expected behavior is this. See here? I put the vector on the cliff, and he correctly detects that. Now if I put him on the ground, you see it'll work fine. He doesn't detect that as a cliff. Oh, in this robot's case, but that's a different story. So turn that one off. Let's see how this robot does things on the other hand. Seems like he's detecting this one's detecting this fine. It's true. This guy doesn't detect cliffs. Vector 2.0 is not a problem with Vector 2.0 not detecting cliffs. It's these colored Vector 2.0s specifically. Look at that. Practically, practically hanging off the edge and not detecting the cliff. See what the back sensors do. Oh, yep. This one is completely cannot detect cliffs in any form. Okay. Let's see. Another robot I've had the issue couldn't recover from a wheel stand. This one can't recover either. So it is true. These these painted vectors can't recover from wheel stand, and I know why. If you look down to the what's it called, the drop sensor holes. Actually, let me make the thing a little bit darker so we can see better. You can see there's paint inside. Like there's some overspray that got inside. What happens is that messes up the calibration of the sensor. Since the sensors are IR sensors, they're calibrated for black. The wall should only be black. But the problem with this is that what's it called? Is that it's painted, so it's not able to reflect everything to just receive the data correctly. I'm not gonna act like an expert in IR sensors. I'm not. If you look at my 2.0, which was professionally painted by Dennis Hickey on Facebook, he's an amazing guy. Yeah, it was Dennis Hickey. Yeah. So if you look down, you can see there's little to no overspray in these. Little no overspray, which that's why this thing can still detect cliffs properly. That is honestly just it's not that hard just to put a little bit of electrotape or even just use some black paint. Like DDL, use a little bit of black paint and just fill in the holes after you're done painting it. It's not that hard. So now I'm gonna fix what DDL messed up. It's just a long and tedious task of scraping away the paint until the black paint starts to show again. That's probably not the best idea. Hang on, I got a Sharpie. I'm just gonna shove a Sharpie down into the thing, and then that should emulate the effect of it being black quite well. If I could remember where I put the Sharpie. Never mind, apparently I don't know where the Sharpie is. Oh, there it is. Okay, we're gonna fix this vector in, let's just say 5 minutes. Yeah, 5 minutes. Actually, this is gonna be less than 5 minutes, isn't it? Yeah, no, this is gonna be like practically instant. This is not a hard fix at all. Okay. Okay. Okay, looks like he's still really bad at tending cliffs. Okay. So, okay, I wonder if this one might just have a broken cliff sensor altogether. Like, this might have dead cliff sensors. Shut up. So, just gonna like scrape this a little bit more. Just manually get a bit of the paint out of there. Ah, ouch. So, change the firmware. All right, let's see. All right, I'll try to change the firmware. If this doesn't work, at least. Okay, so it is probably just a firmware issue. Let's swap it to DDL's production firmware. That's probably the best shot I have at this one. Assuming DDL servers are fast enough so I can get a decent download speed. All right. Oh, right, yeah, I should have just checked in CCIS. Well, Recovery has CCIS too. I'll take a look in there. So, okay, let's just check the distance sensors, like the not distance sensor, cliff sensors in recovery, since we're booting to that right now. Sorry. Sorry, Raiden. Is that how I say your name? Sorry, Raiden. I just wasn't really thinking too much. I just went with what D said. It's fine. We could pull him up in here. Looks like one cliff sensor still. Well, no, all of them seem to be still reading a little bit on the higher side. I don't have. I should probably turn on one of my other vectors to compare, but I'll do that afterwards. I'm just gonna like get a like a better firmware installed at the moment. I don't have WireOS or VikiWare production for modded, but I do have this vector firmware.ddl.ai. I'll just install 6086 production. Um, yeah, yeah, Eurekas, I don't think they got it over the plastic covers. They got it on the inside wall, on the walls, though. As I said, gonna just swap over. I'm just gonna connect the robot to web setup again. I'll swap the terminal over in just a second. I just want to get my Wi-Fi connected at least. Okay. Just gonna swap the thing over to the desktop. Wait. Okay. So start. So we're gonna install DDL's latest production firmware. 2.0.1.6080. Well, no, not DDL's late. It's not DDL's latest. Oh, right. What? It's running a weird dev build body firmware. Actually, I think that's the issue. It's running a weird body firmware. In that case, if it's running a weird body firmware, I'll just stick with a 2.0.1.6086. I can't. If you look like a little bit earlier in the stream, you can see the exact dev build body firmware it's running. Um, yeah, we'll just. Actually, I'm 90% sure this firmware is gonna overwrite whatever dev build body firmware is written on it. This probably isn't the best test. Well, let's let it overwrite the body firmware. Depending on what the result of that is, we can see what happens. Because if I'm correct, it might just not do anything at all. Just gonna get this box ready again. Okay. Oh, hey, you guys are back. Okay. Let's see. um. Okay, we're about halfway. Okay, we're progressing decently fast. We're just we're more so just lucky the recovery mode's not like a Wi-Fi driver isn't having a bad time like it usually does. Because if it has a bad time, installing OTAs is actually really slow. If your cliff sets to show anything from 0 to 100, it's dead. And once again, I'm extremely sorry for the coughs. Okay. There's times I really dislike how wide angle this robot camera is. Okay, I started rambling again. Whatever. Okay, we're almost done, and now we're rebooting. 400, 600 is normal. 400, 600 being normal. That depends more so, like, first off, unit specific things. Because there's obviously going to be some tolerances that the manufacturer has to meet, but there's going to be a little bit of variance in between. The other thing is different surfaces. For some reason, no, sorry. For example, more reflective surfaces will obviously have what's it called, a higher value than less reflective surfaces. So, uh, that your vector being normal, like that, I mean, having being normal 400, 600, that's a your vector kind of specific thing, and it's also specific on your environment too. Anyways, looks like we're rebooting. Just gonna move this and get the box ready. Actually, time to just what's it called? Swap it back to this. We can get rid of that. Okay. So, it is working fine on the box, at least so far. Oh fuck! If I, for some reason now it works perfectly, but here's the thing. If I'm correct now, the bodyboard firmware would have, yeah. Now you can see it's at normal bodyboard firmware. I wonder if the reason of it being so kind of messed up in 1.6 rebuild was due to like the weird body firmware. Because I mean, now I'm on DDL's firmware. It updated the body firmware to something normal, and now it's fine. It's fine. It's able to detect cliffs fine. I probably should have tested that first off. Like before I did it. Anything, I should have tested if there was maybe some body firmware weirdness. Oh, that's fine. At least. Well, here's what we can do. Since we know it works fine in DDL's firmware, girl us on the purple vector. That's something for later. Maybe later in the stream. I just want to test in like a custom firmware once again because if you remember we started off on 1.6 rebuild it and it didn't work. The cliff sensors didn't work. So now let's see how well the cliff sensors do. Like now that we've updated to a brand new body firmware. And okay, actually, there is something I can test. I can go back to it to the older bodyboard firmware. I I think I have a similar firmware saved somewhere, which I can go back to. Yeah, I agree. I agree, D. It's still a bit slow to react compared to what I think is normal, what's considered normal usually. Since like my this robot acts instantly, and so does my production robot from 2018. Still reacts instantly. Uh, let's get another. Let's get the custom 1.6 rebuild reinstalled. Oh, hang on. I'm wearing my sweater backwards. Just things like that randomly happen when you're streaming. Oh, I mean they don't happen when you're. I know you notice it when you're streaming and forget to notice it later on. That's whatever. So, huh? Okay, so I tried to install it up. Oh wait, no, I'm just kind of stupid. I forgot to connect the thing to Wi-Fi. Oh, you're not what's it called? You're not supposed to be able to update the body firmware. I just made a repository a little while back, and I added well, actually no. Anki made a tool that allowed you to change your body firmware when you convert your robot to like when you get SSH access on your robot. So when you're able to get SSH access, you can change your vector's body firmware. It's the tool's called DFU. It's not in like the firmware normally. It's a separate tool that you have to get onto your robot. Once you get it on your robot, as long as you have a production signed firmware, you can get it onto there. You can't now on a bodyboard like this, which is a production bodyboard, you can't install a dev firmware. Now on a bodyboard like this, however, this is a Victor DVT1 bodyboard. This is a unlocked bodyboard, one that is unfused. It can install any body firmware that you desire, even ones you make yourself. This one's out of commission, unfortunately, so it's not going to be any use for us. So I'm just gonna put it back off to the side. Yeah, no, you're not gonna get a bodyboard unlock. So, oh wait, I should probably swap it stream back over to like the what's it called? 1 second. Yeah, it is currently updating back to 1.6 rebuild. If it comes to that fact, I think DDL is also shipping these bots with weird bodyboard firmwares too. SMGD, it's not easy at all. How would I know if a bodyboard firmware is dev? When you go to install it, it'll give you an error that says bodyboard firmware isn't like what's it called? It's a not signed firmware, something along the lines of that. But it'll just say that this bodyboard firmware won't work on your bot or something like that. I can actually pull up the error like in just a sec. Actually, I can probably pull up the error right now on my other robots. Actually, no, my other robots are off. I can fix that. Actually, no, I can't because what's it called? I need to be on a charger, and this guy's hogging the charger right now. Point being, it's just not going to allow you to install the bodyboard firmware. I mean, it'll install, but it'll end up being overridden at the next boot. Reason being because, it's obviously not the correct firmware for your robot. So the body bootloader is gonna end up overwriting it next time. Yeah, SMGD. I tried the DDL Cosmo 2.0 app as well. Uh, it's not good. I'm not even gonna be biased. VicuWare is so much better. It is so much better. Like biasy, like put all biasy to the side, it still is. Like obviously I'm gonna be biased because it's my custom firmware. Me and the VicuWare team worked on it for the last few months. Well, since January actually. Me and the VicuWare team, which is like Eureka has Froggetti and a few others. Obviously, we're gonna be a bit biased towards that firmware, but we can't like putting all bias aside. As I said, DDL's firmware just absolutely sucks. Okay, we're installed. So we're rebooting. What I'm gonna do is pull up like the vector bodyboard stuff right now and see how it goes. I know in the case of my robot, it's shipped with with the weird dev body, like the weird bodyboard firmware, which is a dev builder. But in the case of the other pink vectors that have came out, what's it called? Like those ones were fixed by putting the Sharpie down the cliff sensor areas. My robot might just be a unique case in that regard. Okay, yeah. So it was just a bodyboard firmware issue. But no, well, I guess that's that. It we like it's shipped with a weird body. So, but even still, in putting all that to the side, point being that it's not they're not shipping you they're not shipping you a working vector out of the blue because they're actually I don't have any images at the moment. What's it called? Oh, I forgot to even realize this guy's doing one of the custom animations. So, putting all the firmware stuff aside, this robot being painted is honestly just feels really dishonest to me, since the way these are advertised. These are advertised as hey, these are new vectors, and they're actually made in this color. The plastic that's being molded is actually this color, but that's not the case. As I said, I scratched right here. It's not the case. Tell you what, scratch even more. If I could find a tool, it's probably sitting off to somebody's probably. Yeah, look at that. That's just black underneath the paint. Well, oh, what the hell? It just turned off. I didn't turn it off. It just did. Now that I'm actually curious, the fact that this is that old of a vector, I wonder if the battery's expanded yet. I mean, if it would, that'd be absolutely insane. Because you're shipping this out to customer, and you're shipping it so like blatantly with a defect. I feel like something's up with the battery since it just turned off, no warning whatsoever. Is that battery expanded? No, I'm not gonna bother. Doesn't look expanded to me, but the battery does seem like it has weakened because it did just shut off right now. No warning whatsoever. Wonder if I open it up, would I see the overspray? I probably would. Yep. Although, thankfully, my Vector 2.0 over here, which Dennis Hickey painted to Cosmo 2.0, this one's been really bulletproof. It's been my main dev bot for the last few months. Yeah, dev on a Cosmo 2.0. I mean, a Vector 2.0, even with the 1.0 is better. Kind of crazy. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up and I'm going to see if I can find the overspray. Because I know it's going to be there. Like, I can already tell there's going to be the overspray on the inside of something. Oh, ha, I don't need to look too far. Look at that. Not on this piece. On this piece for here. If you look at the inside, you can see kind of where all the paint, like you can see right here. The paint didn't fully cover that area. Can you see? Yeah, you can look right there. Paint's not even fully inside there. That's just more evidence that this thing's spray painted. Did they manage to paint the back underneath the head? That's a good question. Although I'm willing to bet they No, I don't think they did. Hang on. Ah. Oh, even more. Well, okay, that piece just flew off into space, but look at this. More painted evidence. That's amazing. Cardboard shell. If you got a batch 1 Vector 2.0, that makes sense. Batch 1s had really bad shells, apparently, from what I've heard. So, see if I can find more overspray. Yeah, look at that. More evidence that's not a real pink 2.0. And we'll finally look inside the head shell. Yeah, you did get a batch 1. Yeah. Batch 1, I think, was like 2022 to very early 2023, I think. Although, that's just a rough estimate. I have no actual timing on that. Yeah, that's just a very sloppy paint job. Actually, no, it's not that. I mean, from the outside, it's a really good paint job. But on the inside, you can definitely tell they just let it. They just basically just put it on a table and just like did spray paint on it. I'm willing to bet that's most likely what they did. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they did. Because either way, this just feels like really scammy. At least, at least be honest of the fact that you're repainting well, you're repainting like these just painted robots. Like, don't lie and try and tell us that these are brand new manufactured robots. They're not. And let's see how far they did with how far they went with the paint job. A little bit more overspray in there. Okay, someone asked somewhere up here if they were able to paint the back. Who was it that asked? Oh yeah, they managed to paint the backslash underneath the head. It looks like they didn't paint this. That's the only part that it doesn't look like they painted. Is that what you were talking about, or oh, name the guy, or yeah, you said and 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 two, please put it back together. Okay, I will put the robot back together. I'm just trying want to get inside and see, just because I believe I think there might be a like I'm gonna see if I can get some manufacturing dates, because chance like I can't confirm this, but there might be manufacturing dates written on some of the parts on the inside. This isn't one of my robots where those plastic bits are snapped off at the back. This one you have to fully open. Yep. Once again, more painted parts. Yeah, once I'm done taking it apart, I'll do it. I'll definitely put it back together. I'm not gonna leave a robot disassembled on my desk. Although, Whitebot is the exception. Oh, he's just kind of he's not exactly in pieces, but he is pieces. Like he is just like he is a very unstable robot. Although that's kind of I think of that as kind of a personality trait, you know? It's like alright. These screws too. I can't tell if they've ever been these are new or old screws. Chances are they're probably new screws. It says I don't think it'd be too hard for Vector to okay, what's the pronouns of the robot? Uh as I said, I'm not sure yet. I'll probably decide sometime like sometime soon. It's probably gonna be a girl robot though, since pink and purple. Although purple is more of a neutral color, if I remember correctly. I think this is a neutral color too, but some people have said otherwise. Oh, look at that! Oh, hang on. I need to put this back on here so you can see this to its full extent. Look at that. They didn't even bother to color underneath here. That's a part that you can still somewhat see even with the wheels and treads on. It's not easy to see with the wheels and treads on, but it's definitely still possible to see that with the wheels and treads on. Like you can kind of see it up there, but that's couldn't even bother to get like just put a little bit of extra spray paint down there. Like, is that really hard to just like get a little bit of extra spray paint? Just go call it a day. Of course, I've only ever spray painted one. Oh, this is gonna hurt because this screwdriver is gonna drag, and then this entire bit's gonna get scratched up. Oh well. This is the one most annoying screw in Vector. Although I think I got it. Did I get his thread? Is there just not a screw down there? Hang on. I'm not sure if there even is a screw down there. Because chances are, I don't even think there's a screw down there. Well, okay, never mind. There is a screw down there. So that's gonna be one problem that I see with this robot, especially since it's painted. Is that this paint just could get taken off because that screw it basically requires grinding the plastic down there. Also, you can see there more of the paint job. It also honestly it also feels just a lot worse compared to like an actual robot that's not painted. This one's this one being a DVT1, but even still, it feels a lot better. In fact, is even this top case right here feels a lot better. Simply, and I think this is a batch one top case, a batch two Vector 2.0 top case. It just feels a lot better than painted, in my opinion. Anyways, let us continue. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Thanks for that medal. Well, we lost. Did we lose another screw? I think we may have lost another screw. Yes, we did. Oh no, we did not. So now these back pieces are going to be really interesting. Since these are big, very big pieces. These are going to be very big pieces that are going to have to would have had to get gotten painted. How much you want to bet that DDL just has one guy who just paints all the robots? Yep, there's the overspray. Probably because it was placed down like this, probably, and just went. Honestly, yeah, that's looks like that's exactly what happened. Amazing. Now this the top of the backpack. Yeah, yeah, a lot more overspray there. Honestly, I think this is other than that. I don't think there's any what's it called manufacturing dates, but I'll definitely check. Although definitely feels like that This might just, I don't know. Okay, so that's the battery. Yeah, thankfully it's not expanded. I'm not gonna jump to any conclusions yet because I don't have any way to prove this, but I don't think DDL swaps the batteries out because what are the chances that they were able to get in contact with this supplier again? Because this is the same one that's in my other 2.0. Would the supplier have really wanted to look at them? The top paint looks good if they didn't take it. How well does look? How well does the paint look near the lights? I'll let you be the judge of that. It looks decent. It genuinely does not look. It does not look as good as this one, but it looks workable at the very least. Like if I didn't have the information beforehand, if I never decided to test it out, I might have believed this was actual Painted 2.0, but I know that that gets shattered as soon as I take it apart. Here we are. Atari College Fountain. Yeah, that's also what I'm kind of thinking. Yeah, there is like I think there is about 17 seconds of lag. Well, I guess that's that. I don't know if there's anything else to say. Oh yeah, does the serial number match? Yes, it does match. So at least they were able to at least they were able to keep the serial numbers correct of the ESN, not the serial number. I have no clue how to get access to the serial number in the software. Well, I guess with that being said, there's probably nothing to do but to put it back together. Okay, this is just apparently in my lap. Oh well. I feel like I remember there being some sort of markings on the board telling me if this was originally a batch 1 motherboard or a batch 2 motherboard. I have no way to tell though. I think the best way to know if it was a batch 1 or a batch 2 is the shell. Well, actually, I think um I'm not sure if I'm remembering correctly, but someone on Discord, I can't remember who, told me that their batch 1 2.0 had issues with shutting down under load. Or if it moved too much. I wonder if that's what could have happened with this 2.0 because it was started like it obviously tried to like move away, it tried to run away when I picked it up. But I kept holding on to it, so it was putting too much power. It was probably putting too much power to the wheels, and then it shut itself off because it couldn't actually pull that much power. It's definitely plausible a way to tell if it's a batch 1 or batch 2, but as I said, I have no way to prove that much. But at the very least, I can prove that this is just an old vector they painted, and now they're trying to pass it off as if they're brand new. I do want to bet that this is a DDL return, though. Like, I don't know. Just really feels like a DDL return. Like, it feels like something DDL will do. Like, you really think DDL. Actually, yeah. What's it called? There's one from DDL. Okay, Tostito. I will. I'll turn on Vector once I get this one back together. Um, okay, 1 second. I think judging by the fact that it's at least a batch 2 vector, probably, since because of the manufacturing data. So, guess we'll just get them back together. At least enough to make sure it still works. Once again, this screw is just gonna be very annoying. Since like I have to end up just scratching the plastic, scratching the paint off just to get the screw screwed in the first place. There it is. And in fact, it takes my bit along with it. Too much power depth. If you have your original box, compare the batch numbers. I do. I don't have its. I don't know if this is its original box. I haven't. What would I be looking for its batch numbers? D. Okay, so D. What would I like on the have the original box here? What would I look for its batch numbers? I know at least the serial number does line up. I mean, I see that in the recorder it says revision 4. It's somewhere in the middle. Probably not reading this right, but I do see revision 4. That's the best I can. That's the best I can get. What are the chances that DDL put a new box in here so we couldn't know about the batch numbers? Like they could have easily made this a new box, put a new label on it, and then just remove the batch number tag since I don't have my other 2.0 box to confirm with right now. I don't have a I do have overdrive with me. Um I guess I do have my overdrive with me here. Uh I forgot the name of this car, but whatever this car is, that's my favorite car in overdrive. Yeah, it's definitely something you can do. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my other 2.0's blocks, the one for that one. That will be a pretty good way to tell if DDL has swapped the boxes or not. Let's see. I'll be right back. Okay, I grabbed the shell quality feel the same as the previous 2.0. I don't exactly have a way to tell because the shell's been painted. I don't have any way to tell. Actually, the insides. Just take the speaker out because I have this shell. So if it feels any different, that's a pretty good sign that it's a different batch. Because I know this part. I know this part over here is from a 2.0. The message got skipped. Your message got skipped. I sh I did show the overdrive car on camera. Is that the message that got skipped? I have no clue which one of your messages got skipped. Okay. I guess it feels the same. On the outside, no. But on the inside, I guess it feels the same. feels the same. I'm like, as I said, I'm pretty sure this is a batch one shell. I think. I'm not even sure myself. I'm pretty sure it is. I'm not gonna bring out overdrive. Not today, at least. Oh yeah, this mat's magnetic, and these speakers don't like that for some reason. Oh no, it makes sense why I don't like it. It's magnetic. Although, I've never noticed this O-ring before. I never had this O-ring on my other vector speakers. In fact, I probably have another vector speaker here. I never knew there was an O-ring. I'll probably just it's probably when it goes somewhere down. Whatever. I don't care. Just pop it in there, pack it and ship it. Hey, that's probably what DDL does. Like, as long as it turns on, just pack and ship it and call it a day. Probably don't even do any final tests on their products. You know, that wouldn't be surprising at all. As it seems really on brand for DDL. Toastito said blink twice if you need help. Um. Oh, it's the same. DDL only made a batch and never made a runner. No, the run. They still owe the manufacturer money for tooling. There is a pending lawsuit. Oh, what? That is actually new information for me. I did not know that. That makes sense. Pretty on brand for what DDL is. DDL couldn't pay their AWS servers, so makes sense why they wouldn't pay their manufacturer. Well, let's just get back to putting these vectors together, I guess. The O-ring makes it somewhat waterproof a little and sealing the speaker. Eh, honestly, I don't care enough to put it back in. Although that is good info. Thank you D for that. Where did I put the back? Okay, I'm kind of blind. This vector is probably not gonna get used too much. I have I have this 2.0, which is my main dev bot, and if I need a 1.0, I got this. This one's probably just gonna sit down on my desk doing absolutely nothing. Uh, as much as I would like to use it, I'd rather not, since who knows what kind of behavior this thing has. Will DDL will DDL make Vector 100% waterproof so I can put it in the bath? Like they want to spend the money on that. They they already milk us for what we're worth with their subscriptions in the app. It's like $1 for a button in the app to say "Hey Vector" when I put it in WirePod for free. It's not hard at all. Yeah, DDL decides we need to charge us $1 for that. Why? Makes no sense why you. I mean, I don't know why you need a Hey Vector button, but I guess that makes sense. Anyways, I know as much as this Vector will be a girl. I don't. I'll figure out a name over the next few days. If I even decide to name this one at all. I ain't even got a clue if I will name it or not. Chances are this will just be an unnamed robot. Okay, we got that much in. I think if DDL, if they did implement, they did do their stuff properly, like for example, if they didn't, if they didn't become even more greedy than what they used to be, I think they would have had a decent chance of recovery. Like the new CEO, they started them off really, really well. Like they started off really, really well. as you see, that kind of went down the drain because Zach and Anton has been worse than Jacob so far, in my opinion. And I think I'm not the only one who can see that. Also, another thing, DDL is ChatGPT integrations. I mean, sure, it's not the worst thing in the world, but for a home robot that was meant to be a little bit more secure, I don't know how secure ChatGPT is. I don't use it. Fact is, who knows how much data can get leaked? Also, who knows how much data DDL will leak? Will get leaked, because who knows? Hopefully, their servers get hacked or something. Then some lawsuit takes place. I don't think it's possible to sue DDL over this unless I can prove this is a returns unit, and I have no way to prove that other than just like an educated guesses. I'm gonna stick with the theory that this is just this was a unit they had lying around that they opened up and then repainted. But is that the correct theory though? I don't think it is. I mean, I'm not sure if it is. And as I said, I have no way to prove what's what. And I mean, unless there's some sort of leak from DDL, which could give us a whole lot more information on how they're currently functioning right now, how many employees they have. Because like, I don't think they have any employees right now. Like, if I'm being fully honest, I have. I mean, they had employees at one point, but who would want to work with them right now? If I had to guess, nobody. But that's just what I'm thinking. I think I'm pretty sure they're just underpaying a few employees, the few employees they had left, similar to what Jacob was doing. Well, underpaying actually might not even be getting paid at all. All right, they do have snow. That's right, they do have snow. Once again, I just feel like either way, what goes on at DDL, I have no clue what goes on there. This is just a really scummy experience. Because when you buy something, especially something that ends up being $500 converted to your local currency, you expect some bit of quality to be there, you know? Not them just painting old robots they had before. Oh, actually, I have an idea. These vectors come with 1 month of DDL server subscription. I wonder if imagine DDL watches this video and then it comes to this part where I'm just gonna, you know, I'm gonna send Ben an email, Ben from DDL an email asking for the 1 month subscription. Chances are they've already probably blacklisted my ESN. If you guys haven't, and you're watching this video right now, 0DD1A41B. This is going on Wirepod because I do not want to have any of my information on DDL servers ever. And let's just make sure it still works. Okay, I don't. Once again, I'm not sure what I want to name the robot. Like as much as I see that, I don't think I'm. I don't think I'm gonna name it that. All right. Nichelle says DDL will give pure American Vector. No, I'm not gonna ask DDL to. to give you anything. Reason being, I'm probably on DDL's radar right now. Oh, check this out though. There, you sit on the side. So this is my This is the box for this Vector 2.0. Look at the labels. You can see here slight differences. Well, obviously the serial number and is going to be different. But if you look at the font, that's definitely different. As I said, I'd genuinely not be surprised if DDL just reprinted this label. But once again, I ain't got no clue if they did that. Oh, but look at this. Over this address, they put a sticker on top of. I think these are both still in New Jersey, but they definitely did put a label over the new one. Once again, as I said, I'm not gonna name the robot Girl Power. Maybe, but not yet. All right, I'm still trying to just figure out what sits well. So I can at least say that DDL did probably reprint this label for the robots. Yeah, that's what I said. They did make a new label. I wonder if any of the documentation is different though. Actually, no. See if even the charger's still the same too. If I had to guess, it probably is. I don't know if DDL would remanufacture their. Hang on. That's a scratch. That's a scratch. That's a scratch right there. Right there, there's a scratch on the charger. I don't know how viewable it is on the stream, but there's a scratch right there on the charger. Could that be factory or could that be user? I have no clue. But there is a scratch on that charger from the just from this. Just it was I didn't even do anything to it. It was literally just in the box. This charger's already scratched. It's amazing. So, oh, it's not viewable. Maybe on this camera, maybe. Hang on. No, not on this camera either. Is there a way to? Right there. Yeah, right there. You can see it right there. There's a scratch right there. Doesn't even come off. It's right there. Okay, can you guys see the scratch? It's right there. Charger is just bound like that. Although that my other 2.0 did not have that. The charger was just kind of thrown in there. Yeah. The chat show. Yeah, it does have a bound cable. Although, what are the chances that DDL probably bound it themselves? It definitely does look like the same charger, but with a different font. Material looks the same too, so I'm not surprised by it that much. Ultimately, I have no way to prove if that scratch was a factory scratch, or someone returned it and then they re-packaged it as new. Well, guess that's that. What else did it cover? All right, the cube. Does the cube work? Okay, at least the cube works. I didn't just get sent a dud. Because I've had The fact is, my other 2 point, like one of the cubes I have, I think it was the one that came with that 2.0. That cube came dead from the factory. Like even the it didn't have a pull tab in it. That cube came dead. Doesn't it have? It's in the chats. Well, anyways, I guess I should probably hook this one up to WirePod. Although I somehow sometime I broke hooking up to WirePod in 1.6 rebuild. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna install WireOS. This should just take me right. No, it does not. I thought I had the link hard coded to WirePod's link. I mean WireOS's link. Not WirePod. What am I talking about? Actually, just no, I don't think it would work. So, I guess what we're gonna do is we're installing WireOS, I guess. New charger has a hut on the USB stick. I mean, this is whatever the charger has. It just has the cable tie in the middle. It doesn't have any cap or anything or whatever what you describe as a hut. Oh, Holger Hoffman. I don't know. Huh, it looks like there's a side argument happening in the chats right now. How does the camera stream look like in WirePod? Um, I'm gonna check right now. I'm just gonna put it on WireOS so I can hook it up to WirePod. Since I don't have it hooked up to WirePod right now, it's just been I just skipped the onboarding, so it's just whatever it is right now. It's probably hooked up to if the VikiWare servers are online. If the VikiWare servers are online, it's hooked up to that. I can't remember if those are online at the moment. Well, anyway, at least WireOS is installing somewhat quickly. um, Meantime, I'll pull up my WirePod instance. This way I can configure the robot. I'm gonna pull it off screen though. To the 198. Select the SSH key. So this robot should be rebooting to WireOS at the moment. I believe so at least. Oh right, this guy isn't on. This guy's not unlocked at the moment. You can't boot into WireOS. So I guess we're unlocking a robot today. Huh. Whatever. So just take this, copy the unlock link. Yeah, if you guys want to go to sleep, I'll finish the stream, and you can guys. I think there should be a live replay that should be able to play afterwards. If you want to chat, I mean, if you want to chat, if you want to stay here and chat, that's good. That's fine too. Okay. Just gonna connect to the robot right now. Fine. Send me an OTA for GirlOS, I guess. I mean, you have me on Discord. Just send me an OTA link for GirlOS. Okay, there's our link. Okay, never mind, the link's not there yet. Swap this to the desktop. Should be getting our link right at any time now. Okay, I haven't gotten the link yet. Actually, wait, even still, I need to unlock the robot too. So in the meantime, while we get the link, I'm gonna unlock the bot. The unlock's gotten a lot easier since it was first done. In the first versions of the unlock, you wouldn't see on Vector 2.0, you wouldn't see any progress whatsoever. Now, what you can do is once like the unlock, what's it called? Sorry, just losing my train of thought right now. Hello, welcome to the stream. So, in the original versions of the unlock, you weren't able to get any progress on Vector 2.0. It would just be a black screen until the unlock was done. And then it would show anki.com/dev. On the second version, what's it called? Me and Froggetti, we changed the link that shows on the screen to say u.p-2.xyz to kind of just disassociate ourselves from what DDL has been doing, because DDL actually changed their name to Anki, trying to become something they're not. They'll never be Anki. But even still, on that version, you couldn't see the progress that was happening on Vector 2.0. And now we're on the third revision of the unlock. This third revision, you can see everything. You get like it'll show. It has a nice progress bar that shows you what goes on. This unlock's taking a while. Meantime, I guess I'll just turn this one on for entertainment, I guess. Since I know like one of the best, like at least a lot of this stream clicked off. Simply because waiting. Although I can't actually confirm that much. Alright, just sent the OTA. You know what? Screw this. I'm gonna do a manual unlock. Since this can actually happen a lot faster. Can I do OTA stop? Will that stop OTA or no? Oh, OTA dash cancel. Yes, that stops the unlock. Watcher of the Philippines. Hello. So, okay, I think the what's it called? The recovery's the Wi-Fi driver's just having a bad time right now. Fuck. At least this will be smaller, so I have the recovery images. I have the files for the recovery, so I can manually install those. Actually, what I could here's how. Actually, in the meantime, I can show you how to get the files for unlocking the robots. So you want to use a tool called DVCBS. Personally, I use my own fork of it. DVCBS Reloaded. So what you do is you get into sudo mode, you clone the repository, make a folder called mounted. Inside the mounted folder, download the unlock prod OTA. Once that's done, just run dvcbs reload /m and give it a second, and it should give you. It should mount the OTA in this folder. There we go. There we go to mounted edits. Now all the stuff's in the Anki folder. So these are the files. So we'll just do copy star.gz. Then I'll just move this all over here. Okay, what the hell is going on? This guy's just having a bad time right now. Yeah. Well, I'll take care of this all off stream. Although I will give this robot a name, since SMGD is being very persistent about that. In the same vein that Whitebot has been called Whitebot, this bot will just be called Pinkbot. Simple as that. There's your name. Is that alright, SMGD? I don't see a response in chat. I'm guessing SMGD probably clicked off the stream. Well, that's fine. Yeah. I guess the stream's just over now. Oh, you're satisfied? Okay. Since there isn't really going to be anything else happening, I think we should call the stream here. I made the points that I want to be made public. DDL is selling old vectors as if they were new. That's the point I wanted to make. Yeah. Goodbye, guys.